Hey world, what's going on? Welcome back to another awesome episode of Be Inspired Podcast, where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. Tonight is going to be a super awesome moment. But before we jump into it, I just want to thank everybody who decided to tune in to like, share, subscribe, whatever you've done in the past to grow the podcast, comment, share, whatever gems you got. And if you get some gems tonight, whether it be something that Henri says, something that I say, go ahead and comment, share your insights, share your thought, like and share and comment. All right. So tonight we have me on the hot seat. But before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to Creative Dream Collective. She does all our flyers and she's just out there in the Atlanta area connecting and making flyers for everyone, flyers and t-shirts. So go ahead and connect with her. It will all be linked on the bottom. And if you want to connect with Henri as well, you can get her link at the bottom. So tonight it's going to be about purpose. And I'm usually the host, but guess what? I'm going to be on the hot seat tonight and I'm going to pass it over to Henri so she could take over.
All right. Thank you, Sam. That's right. We are flipping the script and we are going to finally learn more about this powerful man named Sam. And oh, that rhymed. And Sam, I feel like you've just been inspiring everyone. And when you show up, there's this peace, there's this calm, and there's already this sense that we want to trust, we want to learn more, we want to know more because you have this ripple effect with your voice and your message. And I'm so excited and honored that I get to be the one to dive deep with you so that your audience gets to know you and not just the powerful people around you.
Thank you, Henri. You're welcome. I'm happy that you could share the stage with me and enlighten people and ask these questions and see where we go.
Thank you. Me too. So, with that, you were mentioning purpose, and that is a conversation that you and I have had a few times. And what I know is that a lot of us we're driven by purpose, and we find ourselves in moments where we feel really disconnected. We don't know what to do next, what to feel next, and it's it gets us to be a little bit stuck. And if purpose is the atlas, not just the compass, I kind of want us to dive deep to help others discover it and how to rediscover it every day. So it's not just a catalyst, but a daily thing. So with that, I would love to know that where in your life did you first feel like you were lost or disconnected from your true self, where that awareness really set in that something needed to change?
This is a good question and I appreciate it. Because I've always been the life of the party and I've been on trips. I look back at trips and videos where I'm just, hey, yo, Sam, you here? Bermuda, we're in Bahamas, we're this place. I've always been and I look at it as I'm the one that brightens up the room, telling myself that. But a moment where I felt lost was over the last 3 to 4 years, maybe, and it's just been me working and not aligning, like I talk about this a little bit in some of my videos. You work so hard to do everything everybody says, and you get to the point where you got everything, like the house, the cars, everything that life told you should have, but you still have that thing that was missing. And I guess that's the moment when I know that I needed to find something deeper. It was no longer getting the things that everybody said because that wasn't fulfilling anymore. It was trying to find that purpose thing that felt deeper. And for me, it took some time, but I think I finally are living in that purpose.
Well,
So to answer your question, I've been feeling this way for a while, but now I'm finally like finding the purpose and finding where I want to be. And it doesn't feel unfulfilling like it used to be. Now I get to help people. Now I get to help people and heal people through their traumas, through their life. And it's just amazing. It doesn't feel like work. It just feels like I'm living my.
I love hearing that. And that's just something that I imagine everyone is craving and has this just lust for, I want to enjoy life. And I'm so happy that you got to do that and be that. for anyone listening who's not there yet, you and I actually spoke about to find purpose. It was about listening to your inner self, and that is what got you here.
Hmm.
So, when did you first hear that voice speak, and what did it say? Like, what was that word where you were just like, "What?"
So there's two things I'll say about that one question, right? And initially, I thought it was when I submit my resignation. I thought it was then because I didn't eat for 2 days because I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was going to do at all. I just know this wasn't it and we're gone, you know?
Mm.
So I think that just after that happened, I didn't eat for like 2 days. And I was just like going off, didn't know what to do. And not eating, I guess, opened up something in me. It opened up my thoughts, it opened up my spirit because, we eat a lot. And that's when I looked at fasting. And that was when everything really started to click. I started hearing more. But before that, everyone hears. Everyone hears. Everyone has the ability to hear that little voice in their head. You just have to be comfortable with listening. So I'll tell you how, right? Have you ever been driving down the road and something in your head tells you, hey, look, take this first left instead of going straight down. And you ignore it and you drive down and then there's a traffic and you're 30 minutes delayed. Have you ever had that experience? So you're
Oh my God,
laughing
I'd
because
like to admit it's real. Keep going. It's so real.
that's that little voice that's guiding our life that we're not listening to. And the more you listen to that little voice, is the louder it will become, the more you hear it. So I encourage you, if you're listening to this, listen to that little voice because as you see, once you listen and follow, you go to the path of least resistance versus the path with more traffic.
I love that analogy. And you hit the nail on the head. It is about always listening. So essentially, what you're saying is give that voice a stage, allow your intuition to speak louder. And it's almost, would you say that it's almost like learning a new language? If it's not something you've done before,
Yes.
what is that? What does that training look like? So it's a daily basis and not this big catalyst moment.
So it happens daily to us on anything. The thing is, we're filled with so much distractions. We're filled with the phone. We're filled with people telling us what to do. People, Instagram, Facebook, social media, news, all the things that distract us from really listening and understanding. So I would say just take a moment and listen, the next time you're about to make that decision that to take the left or right or to put up the decorations or not or whatever that little voice is telling you. Just listen to that voice and see how much it starts talking more. Or yeah.
Thank you. So, for again, newbies who have never really learned to listen to that voice or honestly don't even know what to look for. I feel like we both experience, and a lot of people in our communities have experienced where the noise keeps coming and all of these just, I'm just going to call it noise, but it's a lot of like messaging or not listening to yourself or allowing resistance and getting in your own way. So, what would your advice be, or things that you've done in your life that kind of allows this environment that creates space to listen? Whether it's people, a place, or a thing that you do, but what is one thing that they can start trying today that creates space, a stage, and a microphone for this voice to be like, finally.
I like the question. I would say two things. Slow down, slow down. Life is going fast. There's things popping up at you every 5 seconds. Slow down and take a moment to yourself and really just truly listen. And then I would also say, when you do listen, journal, write about it. Whatever insight, whatever message that you got, write it down so you remember. And you could actually go back and implement what was said. And initially, people are going to tell you you're crazy or you're talking to yourself or that's not true, right? However, if you go back and look and you keep a track of it, you'll look at every decision that you made that you listen to that little voice. It'll show you that you're going on the right path when you listen. So I would say journal and then slow down and journal.
Amazing, powerful, because I love how you said the speaking to yourself, because I actually love to change that perspective of, y'all don't, it's not talking to yourself, it's talking with yourself. You're having this beautiful conversation. And I 100% stand behind the journaling, because when you get to, and again, always say look back a few times, you know, I think you only look back to see how far you've come. But when you journal, you can start picking up on those patterns, right? Of what that gut sounds like or what your decision making skills. So have you ever found power in looking back at these kind of habits or these kind of messages and found this beautiful constellation putting all these stars together?
Yes. Yes. That just solidifies that I was on the right path because we question our purpose. We question what do we have to do and if we're doing the right things. But purpose, we make it seem like it's something big, but it's really your purpose. What is your purpose in life? And not just generally what's purpose. Because if it's what's purpose, you'll be searching forever. But if you sit down and figure out what's your purpose, then you'll be able to find the truth. Because for a long time, I discounted my purpose. I discounted social work. I got my degree in social work from 2016, my master's degree. Neglected my license. It's been 10 years and I just neglected it. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do real estate. I want to do this. And then I was in management. So it's just like, it's easy. I'm doing this and I'm going. But life has a way of putting you on a right track when you don't really want to be on the right track. And think about it like this. It's like you're standing on a cliff, and once the higher power, God, whatever you believe in, gets tired of trying to talk to you and you're ignoring, he gonna finally be like, okay, you ignoring me? All right. He gonna kick you off the cliff. And that's when everything is gonna open up for you. You're gonna be falling and you're gonna think your life is spiraling. But in those moments, you have to take a step back. Or what I did was I took a step back and instead of why me, why is this happening to me? I started asking, what is this teaching me and how can I learn from it?
That is the question. That is the thing that everyone definitely needs to hear. And also what you just said, 100% believe that the universe, God, soul, whatever you choose to call it, will continue to test you until you learn that lesson. And sometimes we don't think we're learning the right lesson, or we think we're learning the right lesson, but actually it's another lesson that we're being taught. And once you get that, it is foundational for your next phase and your next journey, because then you're so much stronger. You know, you'll see this puzzle with one piece missing, and you're like, wait a second, that is what I got from the last piece. And now I get to finish the puzzle. It'll magically turn into a door. And now I get to go into the next phase of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I love that. And so you were also now speaking about the power and this beauty of purpose, that we are put here for this powerful message that we get to give others, that we were chosen for to do. And just like we were speaking about those resistances and the noise, a lot of the times we are in our own way. And
Yes.
again, you and I spoke about this, of how it was your powerful words of, it's not about me, it's
Mhm.
for them. So how did that change things for you? Like, what opened up when you realized that this purpose is bigger than me and I get to touch and help others?
So the first time that happened was I don't have the exact context, but I remember when it happened. I was just sitting at the kitchen table one night and I was just reflecting on where I am. This was in March, so like 3 months after I resigned and was still trying to look for what to do, you know? And I had started the podcast already and it was just going. And when I started, it was just more about getting people on, okay, how can I make this work so I can make money? But when I was reflecting, that's when the message hit me that it's not about you. It's not about what you can make from it. It's not about me in general and my family. It's about all the people that I would be able to touch, all the people that come on this podcast and got an opportunity to go to a bigger podcast because someone else saw them on this podcast. It's because someone that just started their business may have gotten their first big deal just from being on here, you know? So that's the message I got. It's not just about you. Yes, you'll reap some of the benefits, but it's about everyone that needs help, that you're giving them the platform to have a voice. And since then, I just been seeing how I could help, how I could put somebody on here and have them reach to their next level. If it doesn't work out where they on here, I personally ask them, hey, look, I see you're stuck here. Like, for example, there was one person that I wanted them to be on the podcast, right? But just a conversation when I was talking to them, they had a lot of limiting beliefs. And that person's still on the podcast. They still came on and they still did a great job. They still did amazing. But they had a few limiting beliefs that I saw. And I was like, hey, do you have a few minutes so we could have a conversation before getting on my podcast? And that led to the person having more personal training clients. They had gotten a little bit more clarity on their life because they had so many limiting beliefs that we were able to unravel. So I say this to say that that's the confirmations that I keep getting, that it's not about me. It's about helping and touching all these amazing people that are powerful enough to say yes to their dreams, no matter how many people tell them no.
So you not only get these reminders that you are on the right path, but you actually get to be the mirror and reminder for others that they are on the right path as well.
Because we are a mirror.
Yes, we are. We're been a catalyst for change. And I also just want to expand what you were just talking about because you're doing so much more than just allowing someone to come on here and expand their life. You are taking every conversation, every meetup, anything that you can and transforming it into an opportunity. So while you're thinking about all of us, I guess to come here on your podcast and be inspired by you and get questions by you, it's so phenomenal because like you just said, you're opening stuff within us. You are impacting and touching so many people who are listening to the podcast and you are doing the what help one help many. So I just want to first celebrate Sam and anyone who's listening to this that
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
like is huge and you're doing so much more than just allowing us to connect these dots and expanding ourselves. There are so many trillion little ripples of somebody hears one word or one sentence that now gets to go expand. And that is what makes you a leader and a catalyst for change. I'll say that forever because that's who you are. So
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy that you say that because, like, for a long time, not recently, but before, I used to not think of myself as a leader. So I appreciate you saying that. And I receive it. And sometimes when compliments come on, we get shy or we try to switch the conversation. So I appreciate the compliment and I'm receiving it. I'm taking it.
take notes, everyone. This is how you receive a compliment, and you can always one, but y'all, you're not deflecting because you are absorbing that powerful light that you are in order to reflect it to others. So take notes, everyone. So then going back to this whole powerful initial purpose, and that was the question that I forgot to ask is not only how to discover your purpose, but let's say you have discovered it and you feel really lost and really stuck. What is something that you have done that allows you to take another step to kind of get back on the path if you feel like you've strayed or went to go look at a flower and forgot how to get back to your
How to get back. Man, that's a good one. How to get back. And this happened recently, you know? So getting to your purpose is getting back on purpose. It's gonna take a little bit of refocusing, stepping back. You talk about it a lot recently on our calls. It's just taking that moment to reset. To be honest, this whole year I just been going, going, going. And as evidenced by just the multiple jobs and all of that stuff, which I'm sure we'll get to. But refocusing and aligning is the way to get back on track. So when I got off track, it was mostly distractions. So, and distractions could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be social media. It doesn't necessarily have to be the news. It could be your family members. It could be dysfunction, or it could be any little thing, right? But when that happens, you have to take a step back and just take inventory of where you're at. Take inventory of what's going on. Take inventory of, okay, this is going on. This looks like a distraction because you're not going to recognize it at first. You're not. And I didn't recognize it at first. And you remember that little voice I talk about? That little voice was, this is a distraction and it's trying to off-rail you because you're on a path we need you to be. You know what I'm saying? So I had to step back and refocus. I didn't reset, but resetting is also another thing that helps. Take a little trip. If it's a staycation, take a little staycation. I haven't done it yet, and I'm one to not tell you to do things that I'm not doing myself, but I am going to take that reset coming up in a few weeks. A whole week, no contact.
Beautiful. Just
So that's funny because for the first time in my life, my previous job, I used to work every Christmas. So I never had time to I had Christmas off, but New Year's Eve, we'll be working till late. The next day, we'll be working late. So this was the first year that I blocked off my calendar the whole week of Christmas. And that was amazing because I've never done it before. And when I did it, my office manager was just like, "You sure you want to do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I never been off." And it just felt like a relief because I've never done that before. So I got off from my private practice and then I took off from my job and I love it. It's blocked out.
that's amazing. So, what was that feeling of before and after doing it? Was there any kind of resistance or voices that were saying you probably shouldn't? And then the post feeling of like, what was that like for you?
So the first feeling was, should I do this? Should I do this? Am I going to do this? But then I realized that for any little holidays, the clients were not there anyway. So this is Christmas. Most people celebrate Christmas. Most people celebrate Thanksgiving. So I was just like, I'm doing it. And then I just did it. And it was just a feeling of joy because I had never experienced that feeling. So yeah, that was amazing. And it's still amazing because I'm off the whole week and I'm looking forward to it. Just family time and fun.
Family time and fun. I love that. So, you're glowing. You look really happy right now. So, the question is going to be, how can you make sure that when you're on this vacation, what kind of routines can you set in so you don't allow that voice to come in of maybe we should be working a little bit right now? What do those boundaries look like?
That that's a good one because I haven't really been on vacation since last year when I was actually working, and so that's going to be a good question. I'll let you know.
I'm also, I need help because I'm also taking off and I know that voice is going to come in and say, you could be working right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um for one, I think it's being able to reset without the fear of having to work, you know, without the fear of you're gonna lose clients or you should be working, you know. We all need to reset. We all need that moment where we just and I like the book X is easier than 2X, right? Because this book breaks it down really well. It's not when you reset, it's not that you're really just shutting down or not doing anything, right? You reset because you need that moment to come back with clarity, to come back with a bigger vision, to get clearer on your thoughts. So it's good to just disconnect so you could have that time to come back and make the vision bigger than it was before. And that book was amazing for that because he talks about just taking a trip every quarter to reset and come back with a bigger vision. Because in most businesses, the owners are the bottlenecks. We're sometimes in our own way.
Most of the time, yeah. It's so Daniel Priestley actually also said this. If many people say clearly it's the truth,
Yes.
but this powerful thing of going to reset, reflect, and document. Because within those moments, when you allow yourself to just breathe, like you said, with all the noise and all the messages that God, source, universe is trying to tell you just have this space and it's almost like it floods onto the paper. And those are the moments you have the revelations for the next quarter or for the next year. So I'm very excited for you to share what you come up with or what comes to you during your vacation.
I will definitely January 1st when we meet up. I'll let you know.
All right, I'm ready.
And shoot, we're gonna be close by because you're in Atlanta, and we're taking a trip to Alabama, Columbus, Georgia. So, yeah, that would be cool.
Well, I'm
well,
actually going to Florida for in December. I
well,
think
you're
we're
gonna be on a
speaking.
cruise anyway, so you
That's
will
fair.
be here.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Teresa, I decided not to buy the internet package so that I don't take my laptop with me. Yeah, that was
So
the
disconnecting.
yeah.
You can tell us how that experience was of really just setting that boundary and disconnecting too.
I I think it was more of this conversation I had with myself, and I think it's also wrapped around self-trust because this may not be a popular opinion, but if you don't trust yourself to be away from your business for a few days, or if you don't trust an employee to not be there for a few days and you think things are going to fall apart, that means that you didn't set things up the way that your gut told you you should have. You haven't done the things that truly were aligned. And you also don't trust yourself, which is you can trust yourself. I mean, if you are here today, you are alive, you're breathing, you get to influence and touch, you get to just exist. That means you have definitely gone through a lot of roller coasters and a lot of life. You are allowed to trust yourself. So by stepping away, it's like this empowerment move of I have created something that's foundational that can stand strong because I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm doing it for. And the thing is, I can only serve if I am recalibrated, if I am recharged. Because why is it that we never let our phones die, but we allow our brains and our whole body to deplete? I mean, how can you serve your community or your client if you're exhausted and if you're always hustling and always there? You're doing them a favor. You literally, again, do it for them by stepping away. And when you trust yourself, they're going to trust you too. If you have self respect, they're going to respect you too. It's this you're a mirror. Be what you want, be the change you wish to see in the world. So if you allow this flow, this lifestyle, you get to be that beautiful catalyst for someone else to know that it's true. They see the possibility. And then it goes into all the, permission. We won't go there. We won't go there today. So, but yeah. And actually, this is a powerful new question that I have for you, which is once you've discovered this purpose, you've learned about this voice, you've learned the new language, and you now get to do this daily practice of knowing what you're doing, who it's for, you know how it transforms our lives. What is that gift you got back of whether it's abundance or new opportunities? Like what kind of gifts started showing up in your life when you started listening and aligning rather than thinking you got it all figured out and I just need it in this tunnel.
And the gifts that showed up for me was just freedom, time freedom. Because for a moment before one of my last decisions, I was struggling with leaving a job, right? And I was working about from 3:30 a.m. From 3:30 a.m., my alarm would go off and I would get ready. I would go work from 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. with substance use. And then I would come back, take a quick nap, and then go deal with a contract company, run around with children and do therapy for children. So after that, I would come back, help out with the children, do a little bit here, and then do my private practice from 7 to 9 p.m. at night. I wouldn't get to bed till about 10 o'clock. So just imagine running on that for about 3 to 4 months straight, just hustling, trying to make it happen because I have 4 children and a wife, and I gotta make sure they're good. No matter what, I gotta make sure they're good, you know? I struggle with the thought process for a long time of I have to be working. I have to be working. I work 60 hours a week to make this amount. And that's what I've been doing all my life. And then something came up and they were just like, well, it's okay to work less and make more. And that was the moment that I was like, I never thought about that. I never thought that I could work less and make more. And that's the time that the monetary thing kicked in and it showed me that life showed me that, look, all the work you did is paying off. You don't need to work 60 hours a week to achieve the same financial success that you had. So that was one of the biggest rewards of learning that it's okay to work less and make more for me and just having time freedom, more time with the family. Now I get to sit down and have dinner with the children and my family every day. Before I couldn't do that. So now it's just an amazing feeling seeing the twins, seeing my daughter, asking her about her school day and being able to guide and teach them how to be on their journey through life.
Is so beautiful. That must feel amazing to just get to be present with your family because you've been working so hard to do everything around them and for them, but now to exist in that space with them. Wow. That is, ooh. I want to actually dive in deeper about you said that moment of something came to you, that moment of you're allowed to work less and achieve more. What was that shift in your mind that happened of first not believing it or having someone tell you or see it? I want to really know and understand more about what that
I
moment was.
struggled with it for like 3 weeks. I struggle with I think I talked to you one time. I was just looking for answers because I was fear and doubt came up. I was just searching for the answer. And then I journal, I wrote about it, I wrote it down, got it out my head. And then I went for a run. Cause when I go running, it clears my mind. But not only does it clear my mind, it allows me to connect with the spirit. I get most of my answers to my life problems from just running. I just ask questions, I get answers. Oh, what about this? Ideas come to my head. I don't know what happens. I don't know how it happens. It just happens. So I went for a run. I did the journal, I got it out my head, went for a run, and then answer that I needed. It's okay to let go because you're holding on to fear and doubt. And what I learned from this book by Carly Hill is that when you're operating in low vibrations, you can't receive abundance. Abundance isn't going to come if you're worried about money, have doubts, and you have fear. Abundance is a higher level frequency, and fear, worry, and doubt is a lower level frequency. So if you're at those low level frequency, you're always gonna be thinking in lack, but everything is abundance. We have an infinite amount of trees, an infinite amount of birds, animals, grass. Everything is abundant. And God's world is abundant. So if he's abundant and he created us in his image, then we're supposed to be abundant. So to answer your question, I went through those three things before I got to that.
Okay. I love what you just said, this last part of, yeah, you, because I think many of us have heard you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So if you are fearful, you get your fearful gifts. If you are in doubt, then you get exactly what you want, which is the doubt, which is the non-abundance. But if you are in abundant state, you attract exactly that level of gratitude, that level of abundance, that level of contribution. When you give, you get. It's just so amazing. But then to go back to the first thing you said, you were looking for an answer and you were waiting for an answer and you finally got it when you ran. But my question is, were you hearing answers and you just didn't like what you heard and that's why you kept waiting and kept delaying?
You know what they say when I
Okay.
love this question. This is a good one. This is a great one. You know when they say that we are our bottleneck, that's one. And then we are the only one hindering us from our own success. And then the only person stopping from your success is you. So yes, I had to get out of my own way in order to finally understand that and get the message. Because I was in my own way. I was getting the message, but I wasn't listening. I guess I had to let go of what I believe, the fear, the doubt, and finally walking up. Because you're definitely right. Like we get the message from a lot of people. And to sum it all up for you, I have a great analogy or a great story about this. My mom, I got in a crash a few weeks ago, back in August, but this is another confirmation, right? And it's all gonna make sense. So I got in a crash, but before I got in the crash, my mom called, and I haven't told my mom like what was going on with me or like I left the job, all that stuff. So she had no idea. But I told her that day, I told her, hey, I was doing this, this, and this. And you know what she told me? She was like, Sammy, because she called me Sammy. She said, Sam, you need to slow down. I was like, slow down. Mommy, I can't slow down right now. I have to go. I'm on a mission. I got a mission. I gotta go, you know? And she was like, no, Sammy, you need to slow down. And you remember when I told you guys or told you that God would push you off that cliff when you're not ready, even though if you're not ready? Because it's like Noah. Noah had been telling people, like, giving you the warnings of it's gonna flood. Nobody listened. So my mom was my Noah telling me, hey, look, something's gonna happen if you don't slow down. And I didn't listen. Guess what happened? I fell asleep on the way home from hustling, 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 and boom, the car got hit. Luckily, I was able to wake up and grab the wheel, and I almost ran into like a box truck, but I was able to save the car, right? But I see this to say, like, you're gonna get those stories. You're gonna get that moment where you need to listen. You need to slow down. And I think I got a little bit off track, but I think
No,
I think that would just sum up it all up. You just have to slow and listen to those people that are giving the warnings. And instead of saying when that happened, why me? Because I started off with why me. I just look at it and said, what was this teaching? Let's slow down. And then I made the decision to just let it go.
that story is really impactful because it almost sounds like a punishment, but it's not. It's like this undeniable. Kept we keep being told, we keep hearing this, but then we think, no, it's too simple. Or no, this answer isn't for me. It's clearly like, I think you're just looking at the wrong light. I know I'm reflective, but this is not for me, it's for somebody else. And it's just when we don't listen, there's this moment of, okay, I have tried. You think it's not for you, but it really is. And I need you to listen. But sometimes the only times we listen is when something bigger happens, because that's the only time we sit back and reflect.
Yeah.
But what if you get to reflect every single day and you look back at, oh my goodness, how many times have I been told the same thing, which now goes back to your journaling that you were talking about. If you get to do that, then something big doesn't have to happen because you're listening in the moment. Yeah. And I'm so grateful, so grateful you're here. um, yeah, it's,
Thank you.
yeah. So that's a whole other conversation. I'm so grateful you're here. And so how did that moment go? So you went through this experience. You now had this realization of, okay, maybe I should slow down. I have been told this many times. Again, a lot of us get that same message, but we still choose not to listen, or we still choose not to take a different step at something that we haven't done before. So, what allowed you to hear this and say, okay, I'm going to do something different? What was that conversation or thought process like?
So one thing I learned over this last year is that when you don't listen or when you don't learn, the lesson will keep on coming back. It's gonna keep coming back until you decide to either make decision that needs to happen or you're just gonna keep learning the lessons, the hard lessons, the hard way, you know? So after it coming back so much, I was just like, you know what, this has been something on my mind for so long. Let me just let go and see what happens. And when I let go, everything just showed itself, you know? So just let go, even though it may seem hard, even though you may feel like you're not ready. still just listen to that voice and let go. Because think about it like there's a meme or a picture of a little girl with a bear.
I was literally just thinking about this picture as you were speaking. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so you know it. There's a little girl with a bear, and she has a small bear, and God is asking her to let it go and give it up. But what she doesn't know is that God has a bigger bear behind of him. But we hold on to things for so long that we're not able to get the bigger blessings until we let go. So I challenge you guys to let go of,
Let go and let God. Sorry.
yeah, let go of the little bear so you could get the big one or the bigger blessings.
Allow yourself to believe that something bigger, more beautiful can be on its way if you let go to open up space
Yes,
for it to come to you.
yes,
Adore that so much because you're right. I think a lot of times we go in our head, we sometimes don't know how beautiful and how expansive something can be, but the universe does.
yeah,
God does. And if we just allow ourselves to believe that we can receive more because then we can give more, then it's almost like the opportunities can't help but find us. And the messages.
for sure, 100%.
So, what is the next step that you can tell a viewer who's listening to this right now who feels really stuck because they're learning the same lesson and they don't know how to take that next step? And it's not past that letting go, but something physical to hear a message.
So, one of the steps I would say if you feel like you can't let go, then start forgiving yourself or forgiving the person that wronged you, you know? And people may think forgiveness is for that person. No, forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for you to be able to let go of that negative energy, that anger to that person, that anger, that fear, whatever it was that that person wronged you. It's just letting it go so you can get that lesson that you need. So I would say maybe forgiving yourself, forgiving that person.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the forgiving yourself. Receiving all these words and I need to write things down. This is amazing.
I'm giving them to you like truth bombs, like, yo, here.
That's right. Like everyone here, listen up. Sam's got things to say, things to transform for all of us. So we spoke about purpose. We spoke about what it could sound like, what it could look like for us, and how to kind of tune into that language about letting go and about, you had this powerful message of the only difference between who we are today and who we are meant to be and get to be in the future are the limitations that we need to break. And that is, again, the letting go of not doing the same thing every day and expecting a different reality,
Yes.
but taking action. So if your future self could thank you for one decision that you're making in this next moment, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, what should that decision be?
Thank you for that question. That decision should be get back up. Life is gonna knock you in your mouth, knock you in your stomach, give you gut punches. And when I first heard that, I didn't believe it. I was working, I was doing everything that I needed to do to be successful, right? And I didn't believe that life would knock you in your mouth. What do you mean life is gonna knock you in your mouth? You know? Because E.T. says that. E.T. the hip hop preacher. I would say get back up when life knocks you down. Work out. Go make it happen. Because working out has been the one thing that kept me on my purpose, clearing my mind, pushing myself to be stronger. Fedros Koulian says is becoming the 2.0 version of yourself. So just get back up, be resilient. Things are gonna happen. You're gonna lose family members. Not you're gonna lose family members, you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna lose jobs, but it's not the end of the world. You can get through it if you decide, and you have to decide to get back up. So get back up.
Beautiful. Yeah, definitely. It is not about all the times you fall. It's about how you get up and also do you get up the same way? How can you get up a little quicker, a little stronger than before? And one day you're going to jump up and that day you get to look back and just say, "Wow, I have evolved so much." And like you said, the 2.0 version of yourself, the only person you should ever compete with is a previous version of you. And that is how you scale and grow and you become better, not bitter. And I think that is something powerful that we get to choose to just improve and be. Yeah. Like what limit are we breaking next to be that future self that we know we can be, that can give more and just, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because it's funny that you said that because I was just like looking at my Nike Run app, and last year I did like 190 miles or something. This year I'm up to like almost 400, 394. So I'm like, okay, all right. So
how much have I done? I don't know. One.
I say working out and running has been the thing that really kept me sane and on purpose. It really has. And just doing something hard. Do something hard every week on the weekend. That's why I run like 13 miles or 8 miles. It's my long run days, but it gets me to decompress and clear my mind because it's hard. It's hard running 13 miles, you know? It's not
Yes.
easy. Your legs hurt, your feet hurt, you're tired, you want to quit, but it gives you the resilience that you need to keep on moving. And that's why I do it once or twice a month to keep the pressure on, keep applying the pressure. So when it comes up next year, I'm going to apply more pressure, something
And
else, you know? So
beautiful. Thank you for that. Yeah, so the question then would be for the audience is just what is your version of the 13K? What can you do that helps build that resilience and that endurance? And it doesn't have to be running 13K because that might be me in a few years. It's not going to be me tomorrow. But is it cooking? What kind of something that you're doing gets your concentration away from the world to where it's just in the moment, breath, endurance, oxygen. So for yeah, so define what that is for you. Again, for anyone listening, we know Sam's got it, 13K. But I think I'm also curious what that would be for me. But
and it could be
yeah.
anything because so they call it masogi. Chinese, Asians, Japanese, they all do like an end of the year thing where they either do something hard like standing on a waterfall for 4 hours or doing something hard. Maybe they ran 13 miles or so they do it just at the end of the year as a reset, right? But listening to Bedros Keuilian, he was just like, well, what if you do it every week or every other week and get the reset that you need to get to the next level? You'll be 10 times further away than just doing it closer to your goal than just doing it once a year. So I took that into consideration and that's how I got to that. And I was just like, all right, do something hard every week. So if I don't do 13 miles, I go do flipping tires in the backyard, iron mics until my legs are completely dead. So it's just pushing your body because once you push your body, your mind, you're building your resilience factor. So yeah, it could be anything. A cold water plunge at the weekend, something it could be something simple, like you said, it doesn't have to be 13 miles. You could do whatever you feel that is hard for you.
You get to define that for you because you as a soul are the only one that knows your limits. And because we're coming to the end of the hour, I want to wrap it back to the first initial message and the main thing that I know we spoke of and wanted to talk about, which was when it comes to purpose, when it comes to being this vessel of light and messages from source, from God, from universe, what you mentioned was that it's not about us. It's for them. And that helps you show up more consistently or create more or get out of your own way. And with that being a final beautiful close, what is one more thing that you want to say for anyone that is wondering and to create that mental shift, something powerful about for them and how that will expand you to take action?
Give up. Ignore the distractions. Even though people are telling you you should stop, don't listen because that's distraction. Gary Vee says it. 99% of them don't know what your life looks like. So they could have so many opinions of why you need to stop, but you should just keep going and never give up.
Love that. Yes. And find the people that support you. Allow yourself to surround yourself with the people, even just that one person that does believe in you. That is, thank you, Sam. That is a powerful final message. And now we're going to flip the script again, or I can't do sound effects, but
Let's flip back.
we're going to flip back and Audrey's going to calm down. And I'm just so grateful for you diving deep, allowing us to get to know you better, because the audience comes for you. And we leave with the messages, but it's because you get to bring all of us together. You put us on a stage where we get to inspire, which is not done easily. Not a lot of people give us those opportunities. So I just want to thank you for being who you are, what you do for others and for your family. And I just cannot even imagine how much love there is and respect for you, for what you do and how you inspire your children and the connections that you have there. It's just thank you for being you and allowing me also to come here and put you in the hot seat. And I'm so grateful we all get to know you better now. And all of a sudden, I'm just going to, Audrey, stop talking now. Sam, everybody.
I just want to say thank you for accepting the opportunity to be here and put me on the hot seat. I appreciate you. Guys, thank you. Thank you all that tuned in, that like, share, comment. We appreciate you. So again, if I said anything that really touched you or something you need clarity on, share in the comments. Jump in the comments. Let's have a conversation of how we can move forward, or what are the tips you can use, or if you're feeling lost. So thank you all for joining Be Inspired Podcast, where we're inspiring you to live the abundance life you deserve. Shout out to Henri. Good job, man. Great questions.
It was amazing. Again, I'm honored and I'm so grateful I got to ask questions and put you in the hot seat.
All right. So until next time, tune in next week for another awesome guest, and we'll see you on the beaches of the world, or just next week.
Have a purposeful and powerful week